Dealerships are going back to pen and paper to close deals and write service orders for customers. We have Stellantis CEO Tavares, who visited Michigan recently and said he's going to looking at cutting to 40% of the workforce. That includes a lot of the white collar engineering in Auburn Hills and offshoring that elsewhere, as well as sending in European managers to clean up the quote the mess in plants. We have outgoing Ford CFO who's really concerned about rising inventory levels and what the impact's going to be on their business. Hey, it's Tim. Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. Every week I try to do a truck news recap. These are news stories I find throughout the week, and I give you more details, a little bit more behind the scenes as well. These stories, they don't quite fit a full video, but they are interesting to talk about. And if you listen to this on the podcast, well, enjoy. So let's hop to it this week. I'll kind of walk you through some stuff. So CDK Global is the company I'm talking about for the dealership software. It's been a hot topic for a couple of days. Auto News is a whole homepage full of information. CDK Global is a customer management system. It's a customer inventory system. It's like a lot of things. You can use multiple pieces of it, as far as I understand. And dealerships have been either using all of it or use pieces of it, whatever. They shut down June 19th again on their second cyber attack. They've had multiple now, and it's multiple days now of being without the software. Dealerships are saying they're going back to pen and paper to close deals because they can't access databases. And dealerships in Michigan especially are saying that they can get the deal done, they can make deals, they can sign paperwork, they can't finalize everything because the finalization process with the plates deals with the register office of the Secretary of State, and they don't have the software to just put that in and do it. So they're having to hold off on finalizing the deals completely until the system comes back online. It's a major disruption. It looks like the service centers are getting mixed as far as what they're able to do. They're not able to always look for parts. Their inventory systems down. They're able to still help out customers, and the dealerships are basically doing the best they can right now today to service customers and make things happen. But it's a major disruption in the automotive marketplace, and we may see as this auto news story. I'll scroll down for a minute and show you one little detail. There's dealers worry about financial impact, employee commission, paying second day. I mean, there's work out those details. Some dealerships saying we're gonna have quite a bit of paperwork we can get back when the system comes back online. Other dealerships are saying it's fine. I mean, it just depends what your viewpoint on this system is. Some of the shock jock channels here on YouTube seem like they've made a big deal about this, and it's a big deal and it's not a big deal. It's a disruption. Some people are saying it's more annoying than anything else. Other people are saying it's pretty disruption. It's just how you view it and how your dealership works with CDK Global. But this is a big deal for them, and lots of legwork going on for those guys to make deals happen. We also have Stellantis CEO Tavares, who gave a speech, and he was talking about job cuts, including those in the Auburn Hills office tower. I grew up in Michigan, and the Auburn Hills office tower is a major staple as you drive towards Detroit. They always have a big banner outside that's talking about the latest vehicle, latest award they won, whatever. And inside that office is a bunch of white collar employees. So white collar, blue collar is more UAW. White collar is more your engineering and your marketing and your product support kind of people. They're talking about making massive cuts and laying people off. So Tavares had said came to town to alert everyone that his cost-cutting program was aimed directly at the building, which Lee Iacocca, the famous Chrysler CEO, says built the profits made from the minivan. Tavares also said we have at least two plants that need a significant turnaround, at least two. He said he's sending in European plant managers to clean up the mess, which should get everyone's attention. Now, he was on CNBC. I was watching him and Phil LeBeau, who's a great journalist, talking about this. And he was saying that Stellantis is going through a transition period this year. They won't have high sales. They're just going to things are changing. And they're getting ready to launch a lot of EVs, like Wagner S. And so as this transition happens, they're going to start looking at cutting costs down quite a bit to make EVs more affordable. He actually went on to say that he thinks that the middle class wants EVs, but they want to have it at a price point at the same as a gas vehicle. And he's going to look at cutting costs down to 40% to get those costs aligned. There's also some discussion about laying off some engineers that have already done this in the past, and they're talking about doing it more and moving to places like, I think it was like Turkey and Istanbul, different places, and using engineering from over there as it become more of a global company. And so big changes coming into Michigan for that as well. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the plants, see what interesting happens with the engineering, and see how the rollout of the EV launch goes and whether it meets his thought process or whether they're making a step in the wrong direction. That's going to be interesting to see how it plays out next couple of months. Now let's get back to more of the news. So we also have Ford's CFO is concerned about rising inventories across the industry worries him. He said this company continues to aim for dealers to carry 50 to 60 days supply. They have a lot more than that. This gentleman, John Lawyer, is moving. I think it's Lawyer, is moving on to a different job. They have a new CEO coming through. He thinks we're at a point in the industry where we need to be thoughtful in how we proceed from here and watch production relative to supply very closely, he said on June 11th. According to Cox Automotive, the industry's average day supply of new vehicles ticked up to 76 days at the start of May, with a total supply of around 2.84 million vehicles. Nearly a dozen brands, including Ford and Lincoln, have triple-digit stock levels. So he aims to have 50, 60 days supply. So what that means is that you shouldn't have vehicles in lots more than 50, 60 days. This is your average time on lot, and you want to have less inventory, which allows you to sell things at a higher price point and not put incentives on them, trying to get the vehicles out. He does make the point, it worries me that stocks are building. One of the pitfalls you run into if you're pushing product out there that isn't necessarily what the customer wants, it's really tough to move. Within Ford, we call those the pink polka dots. I've heard this from other brands too. You have these unique builds or one-off kind of special editions kind of things that the customer doesn't really want, and then they sit on lots and they languish. And this is saying not spec'd right. So they build vehicles that are a little bit unique, and they just don't move on the dealer's lots. There's been contagion on us yet. We are still seeing strength, primarily because much of our product is new. And if you look at the chart here, this is a new vehicle inventory supply. This is February 15th, so this hasn't been updated, but it's from Cox Automotive. And as you scroll down, I'll show you a chart here. And unfortunately, on the podcast, you can't see the chart, but we're making left to right. And so the people with the least amount of inventory is Toyota. Toyota's got 36 days supply, and that's as of January of this year. Looking all the way to the right, we have Ram that has 153 days of supply. Industry average is about 80 days supply. Ford has 104 days supply, and it basically goes from top to bottom a little bit. We go Ram, Genesis, Infiniti, Jeep, Buick, Nissan, Audi, Ford, Volkswagen, Mitsubishi, Mini, Hyundai, Mercedes-Benz, Acura, GMC, and Chevrolet. And then the brands that have the least amount, you have BMW, Subaru, Porsche, Kia, Cadillac, Land Rover, Mazda, Lexus, Honda, and Toyota. So you can see where they've you have to adjust inventory to make more profit for these companies, because that's how business works. And if you're looking for a new truck, well, you go all the way to the right. You find a brand that has a lot of supply on the lots, and those dealers are going to be more likely to make a deal for you. So that's how, as a consumer, how to read this information. So if I'm looking for a cheap truck, probably right now to buy the prior generation Ram before the new one comes out would probably be the way to go, because it looks like they have quite a bit of supply. Okay, now on the website this week, quite a bit of news was out there. Let's see, we have the Ineos Grenadier Quartermaster First Drive. That's a really interesting truck. It's the one that's getting targeted by the chicken tax. It's a 25% tariff on trucks being imported in the United States. Since that truck is built in France, speak clearly here. That's going to get a 25% tariff. And so if you look at the SUV, which they call a wagon, versus the pickup truck, it's about $15,000 difference in price, and that is that tariff. We had the American Made Index. We had the story I liked this week that I had a lot of fun writing was the Australians are furious over U.S. full-size truck imports. If you don't read that story or watch the video on YouTube, you should go down on YouTube and read the comments. The Australians are talking about this in the comments, and it's just fascinating to hear what they're talking about, why they didn't do a Land Cruiser instead, what's really going on over there. I find it really interesting. We have the Toyota Grand Highlander and Lexus TX recall, a driver's side airbag malfunction. That just went live yesterday. And then we have one of the more controversial videos that came out this week. Was the video shows Air Force Super Duty diesel emissions equipment deleted. So this is a screen grab of a U.S. Air Force looks like F-250. It's got a 6.7 liter turbocharged Power Stroke diesel engine. This has been deleted. It's got a factory kind of plate that is where the EGR comes up, and in the exhaust, it doesn't have a DPF at all. Now, I'm not going to play the video and steal the guy's thunder, but it's on TikTok, and you don't have to be a member of TikTok to see it. But I put it in the story. I'll put a link down below as well in the description. If you want to check that out, he basically walks around and shows you where it was deleted. Now, that's in the shop. He's having it repaired with, he's repairing it at the shop because it's got an oil pan leak, and apparently it can't go in a cargo plane with an oil leak, which makes sense to me. So he's got to get all leaks fixed to get on the cargo plane to send out. I haven't heard any pushback from the Air Force or for Ford explaining why that truck was deleted from appears to be from factory or appears to be just deleted. But it definitely has got gotten people's attention where you cannot delete your diesels currently without creating or breaking the law in certain areas of the country and certain um, municipalities and different air quality check stations. But here's the Air Force doing it. Yeah, interesting stuff. Before we leave the website, the forum's doing really well as well. If you guys haven't checked it out, lots of details over there. We're getting close to 200 members, and there's a lot of conversation going on, and it's great. It's really great conversation happening in the forum. There's my plug for that. Go check that out. I'm just really happy with the way that's growing. I want to mention on that on the website, or excuse me, on the YouTube channel, we have not mu- I do many. I did lots of videos this week, but I didn't. I thought it was interesting. So that was the Dealers Say No Thanks was last week's news recap. We have the Ineos Grenadier Quartermaster. Jill had a chance to drive that. I have the Yank Tinks Go Home. That is the Australians Furious at the U.S. Truck Imports. Again, check out the comments. The comments are really interesting. And then we have the bad news for Toyota with more recalls. Toyota is definitely having a moment at right now. It just feels that way between the Akio kind of contentious board meeting where he got reappointed to be board chairman, but people were really frustrated. He rolled a vehicle to motorsports. They lied in the Japan. Toyota got caught. Mazda got caught. I believe in Nissan got caught lying for some emissions reports over there and fuel economy reports, if I remember correctly. Might be off a little bit on that. I apologize. And then we have multiple recalls happening, especially with the Tundra. Still making big news. People ask me questions about that quite a bit. So that's what I have for you this week on this truck news recap. Make sure you check out the videos over here. Website down below as well, pickuptrucktalk.com. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.